some of the stuff we were discussing.
All right, welcome back to another Spinato Spin. Great to be here. Hope everybody's enjoying the end of the summer, right? The summer's just about done. The hot weather hopefully is just about ready to completely pass us. And now I start to think about some other things, right? The harvest, I talked a little about that last time. The harvest, you know, the seasons of life, pretty much the spring, the summer, and the fall. And the fall is really our harvest, right? And now what happens? We all need a few things to think about. How about this subject, folks? This is a key subject as you go forward and what you want to develop as an individual and what you want to develop just as your life. How about some critical thinking? Now, critical thinking is something that a lot of people don't either know how to do, don't understand what it is, or basically have a total misunderstanding of really what it is. Critical thinking is not just, you know, being critical about somebody or something. It's not sitting around picking blame about stuff. You know, it's about starting to ask questions about what's going on. You know, Vince Lombardi had a great line. He said, "What's going on out here?" Did you ever hear that in the football? When his team wasn't doing things the right way. What's going on out here? Well, what's going on in your life? What is happening? How did you get this far? I talked about it last time. It makes a lot of sense. There's 3 things we didn't get as we went to school, and we still don't get it, and we should get it. Why don't they teach us about, number 1, how money works? Why don't they teach us something just as simple as the rule of 72? And all the rule of 72 is you take the number 72, divide it by the number of dollar or interest rate you get on your money, and that tells you how long it takes to double. Isn't that a good question? You know, hello, Miss Teacher, Mr. Teacher. How long does it take money to double? Well, little Johnny, here's what you got to understand. It's the rule of 72. You got to understand what the interest rate you get, and that tells you how many years it takes for your money to double. They never told us that. Why didn't they tell us that? That's a question. That's critical thinking, right? That's a good thought. How about another thing, too? How about this part here? How about setting goals? How about teaching people how to set goals? How about letting people know that, you know, you could do anything you want to do if you put your mind to it? Anybody ever say that to you? And this is one of the goals you can hit. Why don't you get a little paper route, see what you could do, save a little money, and start getting things going? See, they left out a few parts, didn't they? They didn't give us all of our information we really needed. That's one thing I want to make sure you understand, too. The other thing is how to develop a relationship with somebody. Gee, you know, you're supposed to be fruitful and multiply. You're going to have a relationship that's going to last you your whole life. Wouldn't it be good if you were good at getting relationships going with friends, with people of the opposite sex, all that kind of stuff, just to make the world roll a little better? They never taught us that. How about a way to give somebody a sincere compliment? You know, today in school we're going to teach each other how to give people sincere compliments. Gee, that would have been a nice class to take, right? Learning how to do that. Teaching the kids over and over from little to tall, whatever you wanted to call it, just to get them to understand that. Here's one thing I want to make really clear. All right? 75% of the time, people are dwelled in negative thought. Okay? That's a known fact. Most of the thought that goes through people's head, most people, it's negative 75% of the time. That's just one number I want to throw out to you. Here's another thing I want to ask you, too. Real simple, more critical thinking. Do you think that if 4 people were together and there were 3 people that were in good shape or doing fine, they go on a hike, but one of them got hurt, do you think that the other 3 people can help that one person get along and maybe help them get where they have to go and get them where they get you all where you want to go? I would think so, wouldn't you? 3 people helping 1. Look at 3 and 1. There it is. 3 for 1, right? Not a problem. And then what would the goal be as you travel through this mission or through this hike? You'd want to make sure. We never got the clock started. Is that what you were pointing at? Yeah. Did you? Okay. And if you think about it, you're going through this hike, and all of a sudden you're realizing we're going to make it. But the most important thing is to make sure these 3 guys stay strong, right? These 3 people stay strong. And what I'm saying by this 3-to-1 mentality and this 3-to-1 thought process is really this. What you want to do is you want to focus on your strengths. Isn't that what it's all about? Focusing on your strengths. You know, three people being strong, that one person, you support that one person. Let me ask you another question too. If we had a society, right, and there was 75% of the people were strong and doing well, we'd be strong enough to support the other 25%, wouldn't we? Doesn't that make sense? It's common sense. It takes a little critical thinking, but it's common sense, isn't it? You got to focus in on these things. You got to understand that 3 people to 1 will help. You know, let's say we're on a basketball team, right? We're on a basketball team, and we're going to spend 75% of our time working on what we're good at, right? You don't spend all your time working on stuff you're bad at. How are you ever going to get better? You want to perfect something. You want something to be very strong so you can carry the other percentage, right? Carry the stuff that you're not good at. You look at it this way too. If you were on a team and you had a choice to be on a basketball team, one that worked on fast break shooting and getting rebounds all the time, working on that all the time, or the other one works 75% on foul shots. What good is that? Foul shots are great. They're important. But I'd rather be fast breaking, rebounding, and doing all the things that blow the other team out. I don't want to worry about the end of the game making sure my foul shots make it so I can squeak out a win. Right? It's the same thing. You got to be tough enough to think about these things, and you got to be motivated enough to use your strengths. That's what it's all about. Let's look at another picture here. Get the thing rolling. You know, you got to have no doubt. You got to have no doubt in your mind you're going to be able to do something, right? You know, we all look at certain things for a reason, and we start doubting ourselves. You got to be positive. You got to be upbeat. You got to be ready to go. You got to be ready to get in there and swing away. You know, we're going to talk about boxing tonight. Well, you know, you got to be a fighter, right? You got to be right. And plus, you want to hang around people that want to show up and fight, right? That's what you want to be. You want a team that does that, right? You want a team that's always out there ready to fight and do something special. What about you? You want to do something special, don't you? Remember, critical thinking. Ask yourself questions. Learn about the rule of 72. Study people. Find out more about how you can help people. And also keep yourself motivated all the way down the line. Build good relationships and set and hit goals. Always great talking to you. We'll catch you next time on the Spinato Spin. Take care, everybody. Have a good night.